Hey, everybody. Welcome in to Turn 2 with Scott and Troy. I'm Scott Kornberg. We've got a special guest for you today. Thank you for tuning in. First off, I think we want to bake this in, Troy. We want to do some sort of like fan question episode. So,
absolutely.
yeah, if you want to send us a text message, you could do that on both Apple and Spotify. There's a link on each episode description. You can comment on our social media videos, but let's sort of work towards that as we get going. Secondly, our special guest today, we have never had somebody's high school classmate on Turn 2 until now. And it's not my high school classmate, but it is yours, Troy. Janson Junk is joining us. What is it? How cool is it for you guys to be in Florida after going to school together many years ago? Maybe not that many years ago, in Washington State.
Yeah, it's thanks for having me on. It's a pleasure. Yeah, I've been watching you guys and just itching at the opportunity to come out here and talk to you guys.
Yearning.
But yeah, it's really cool. Playing against Troy over the last few years in the minors. I never thought I would be here, but through minor league free agency and everything, it just ended up working. And being able to play with Troy again has been really fun, and get to talk about old times and reminisce on those old days when we were 15 playing and no worries in the world.
Literally 15 years old.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to correct you a little bit here too.
Okay.
So we weren't actually high school classmates. We just played on the same high school summer ball team for 2 years, I think. You were a junior, I was a freshman.
I think it was 2 or 3 years.
I think it was 2 or 3 years. But we pretty much were together the rest of the time because we ended up working at Diamond Sports, the facility that we trained at and pretty much grew up at. When did you go to the Bulldogs?
I think it was 16. I think.
So it was when you were in high school.
Yeah, right
Okay,
when I started
gotcha.
high school. I think that's when I left my previous team and then went to the Bulldogs. And then I think I saw you around and stuff because you were. How old are you?
I think you're like 45 and I'm like 22.
Stop.
No, so I was a 2016 graduate. I joined the Bulldogs when I was 12 years old, and I played all the way till I was 18. So I played there 6 years.
Yeah. So I think I started when I was like that 16.
So were you a freshman in high school?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
awesome. Okay, so you were there 2 years. I was a low little guy, whatever it was, playing at the lower levels. But we played together. So I was, like I said, I got brought up at the end of the year, almost like, you get at the call up, you get asked from 16U to 18U to go play a little bit. And I remember going up and, oh my goodness, was I so nervous. These guys were old.
Yeah.
They looked old. They threw hard. They hit the ball really hard. I was like, I'm 15, turning 16. I'm like, oh my goodness. These are like adults. And they're all talking about, oh, where are you going to college next year? I'm like, I haven't even been to a high school class yet. Like, I was in junior high. So did Decatur have junior highs too? Oh, no, were you Beamer?
No, I was Decatur.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah. What do you mean junior highs?
Ooh, interesting. Okay, so you had a middle school. Did you go elementary, middle school? Okay, so junior high, I had 7 through 9.
Oh,
so I went K
know
through
what
6, 7 through 9, and then 10 through 12.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it was just the traditional.
So I'm playing with a bunch of high schoolers, junk.
Yeah.
And I hadn't even taken a high school class. So when I step onto the field and like walk into the we don't have a locker room, we walk into the dugout.
Yeah.
I'm looking around, I'm like, wow, I am nervous.
Yeah.
But I think it was probably one of the first games. I think we were playing at Seattle U.
Okay.
And you pitched, and I want to say you went 5 innings, no runs, maybe like 2 hits.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my goodness, that almost like imposter feeling.
Yeah,
where you're like, I don't know if I should be here.
Yeah.
I'm 15. So, but that's kind of our background in a sense of we actually played, like I said, we played summer ball together, and then we worked at Diamond Sports together.
Yeah.
And then I don't think we ever played. We never faced each other in college.
No.
But Gonzaga played Seattle U in a couple midweeks.
Yeah.
And then reluctantly, Junk has my absolute number statistically in pro ball.
Did you look this up?
No, I didn't look it up.
No.
Did you?
I should have looked it up.
I
want to
say I'm 0 for
not
4
good.
with 3 strikeouts and a flyout.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Maybe a fly out. Yeah.
He's like, no, you didn't touch the ball.
Well, every time we played each other, it was I knew having that background, I had to focus even more on Troy just to, show him that
And I'm up there
Just like,
smiling. I'm like,
yeah.
he's going to give me a pitch to hit. Nope, absolutely not.
No,
Dots me
no,
every time.
No.
Fastball's down, curveball right off of it.
Yeah. Well, Troy's a good hitter, so every single time I knew, like, all right, we got to, pump it up a little bit, get the adrenaline going a little extra, and, that hometown rivalry, we had to, keep it going. But now it's fun to be with you, be on the other side, and watch you play every day. So
Thank goodness we're on the same team because I
know.
hated facing you. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
I know maybe one day down the line, hopefully not, we'll see, but we'll face each other again.
Yes. One day.
So growing up in Western Washington, you're still living in Seattle, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so I thought as a younger group, we were kind of the age that Western Washington baseball really started to get good.
Mm-hmm.
Like that early, that in between the 2010s to 2020s, now it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
There's kids going to Tennessee and Vanderbilt,
Wow.
and it's an unbelievable program they've built in Western Washington. But talk me through kind of your development, our development
Yeah.
in Western Washington, what it was like, because it's very different and very unique compared to the way that maybe the South or the East Coast trains.
Yeah, I mean, I would say you're right on that. It's very different from like other places in the U.S., like California, the South, Florida. Those are like the hot spots for competitive baseball. And I would say like kind of went through phases. At the younger ages, I was really just going out there and having fun. I wasn't really worried about trying to get a scholarship or drafted or anything. I was just enjoying the game for what it was. And that was up until probably my senior year of high school when I kind of found out I could like throw it a little bit. I definitely couldn't hit. I think my senior year batting average was 0.47.
Whoa!
Yeah, it was not
Whoa!
good. Yeah. So it was like I started in the 2-hole. I'll never forget this. I started in the 2-hole for the team, and I think I went 2 for 3 the first game, and I think those were my only 2 hits of the year. And then I went from 2-hole to 5-hole to 6 to 8 to 9 to, hey, you should stick to this pitching thing. And that's fine. I really enjoyed throwing, and I wasn't good at hitting, so I didn't really like hitting. So during those high school days, it was kind of like just having fun. But I think I was just I didn't even know it, but I was instilling kind of like a work ethic, going to Diamond Sports, every few days to train and whatever, and kind of slowly progressing my game over that time. And then, like I said, during my senior year, getting scouted by CLU, my college I went to. The recruiter was there to look at another guy, and I came in and threw and caught his eye, and from there on went to some camps and everything, and then ended up getting I was a walk-on. I didn't get a scholarship.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I was a walk-on at CLU, and so first year going into it, that summer my buddy that I actually went to CLU with on Chris Carnes, he said, oh, hey, I got this pitching coach that's this like guru, and ultimately was Kyle Boddy of Driveline. And so this was before Driveline was even Driveline. This was 2014, 2015. And so I go to him, and I'm starting to throw these weighted balls and everything. And before I was probably 83 to 86 in high school, and then so I go to this guy and start throwing and developing, start working on strength stuff, and ended up went from 83, 86 to 86 to 90, and the recruiting coordinator saw me. I went to Washington State camp, and he saw me throw, I think I was up to 91 or 92, and he was like, I just saw you last spring, and you were low 80s, and now you're throwing, low 9s, high 8s, low 9s. And I was like, yeah, I've been doing this weighted ball program. And then through that, you know, our whole program at college ended up being, he took my thing from Bodie and what I was doing and instilled it throughout uh, the whole staff at CLU. And then we saw a bunch of numbers go up. I played with Scooble. Um, his velo jumped, his, pure strength went up. Everybody else did too. And that was kind of like the start of my competitive, really like turning the switch in my brain to like, hey, I actually like want to excel at this rather than having fun. Um, but I think that development just came from, putting the hard work in every single day and just like not even knowing it. I feel like a lot of people ask me like, when did it like switch? Like how did you like get to this point? And it's like there's no like specific answer to that. I feel there wasn't a point where it was just like, oh my gosh, like I figured it out. Um, it kind of just like throughout the whole process of the game of baseball, I just developed a routine and just stuck to that. And through that, just put in the hours and the work and the throws and the reps, and it kind of just like stacked on top of each other. And um, I was able to get an opportunity, got drafted by the Yankees, and from there on, I mean, that's how my professional career started.
It's pretty amazing. You mentioned Driveline, and I had gotten a tip from somebody in your clubhouse that you had gone through there, I think even as a pro now.
Mm-hmm.
From 83 to 86, and you detailed to getting drafted, essentially.
Yeah.
How has that helped you from the Yankees all the way to now? Because I remember seeing you with Nashville the last 2 years, and you were good. But I feel like even this year, your velo is up. Like I think it's been at 98 at times. So has that continued to be like the thing that helped you take that next steps forward, even as a pro?
Yeah, I think during COVID, wasn't able to go into the Driveline facility. I took a few years off of doing it and went to a different route just because they were moving into a new facility and stuff. And then I went back the last 2 years, and specifically this year, we really hammered on my biomechanic report and just kind of like where we can grow from that. And through that process, I learned, okay, now I'm going to get real like technical with pitching stuff. My center of gravity, my block leg, my rotational speeds, were all kind of low for like where they could be for a average player that throws 95. And so I really hammered that this off season instead of the surface level thing. Looking at Driveline, so we're just going to throw these plyos as hard as we can with no plan or anything. And that's not really the way you do it. And I talked to my trainer over there and was like, hey, I'm at this point in my career. I've done the velo training and everything. It's like we need to figure out that extra like step to how do we get better, from the ground up through my body, and then having everything translate onto the mound. And that was through the biomechanic analysis we did. And over this past offseason, like I said, train those specific areas in my game. And I think that's really helped me just to move fast and just be an athlete on the mound. And there's a whole other things, pitching, pitchability stuff, arsenal stuff that I have tweaked. And the Marlins have, just from day one of spring training, helped me, put me down that path to excel. And that's helped a lot.
I think it's one thing, we just talk about like pitching labs and what you did. It's one thing to be like, okay, we need to change your center of gravity. We're going to tweak this grip or your arm angle or whatever, all these things you've mentioned or at least alluded to. But it's another thing to implement, right? Your first 27 years or so, you threw a certain way. How difficult is it to relearn or maybe tweak something when you've been doing it for, probably competitively for 15 years or so, and then having to, I don't want to say relearn, but to redo something at 28, 29 years old where you're at right now?
Yeah. For me, I've always been trying to get better and find out ways to do that. So I've been really open-minded with, people, and through that process, I've been last year I was with 3 clubs. I was with the Angels before, and I was with the Yankees before. So it's like I'm getting all this information from different people, and through that process, I've figured out kind of what things work for me and don't. Um, and I've been led in a direction that ended up not being who I am or something. I was trying to be something I'm not. And other things people saying it works. So just kind of like weeding those opinions out and having respect for those people, and it's just like, okay, maybe that's not my thing. But the thing is, like, back to your question, I'm always trying to get better. So I never feel like, I don't feel like I'm at the peak of my ability right now. I still feel like I can get better and better. So I'm always open to opinions or tweaking things here and there just to like gain that extra edge, because I mean the game is like still evolving. So just trying to find the edges and stuff just to be better on the field is kind of what I'm after. So the whole process, it's like it excites me to do something new, something that like I know that's going to benefit me, and work towards that. That really excites me to go out there and every single day and kind of like just work on myself.
It's cool.
It's really interesting you put it in those words, because I think this organization maybe in this period of time might be the best thing for you, because that's their goal right now too.
Yeah.
I know you said you're really enjoying from day one of spring training what the Marlins have kind of brought forward, and for me this has been the most, I'm not going to say controversial, but different. It's just different in the way that they're running things and the way that they're approaching the game of baseball.
Yeah.
And for you, somebody that's been in the big leagues, somebody that's had success in the big leagues, to try to get back to the big leagues as a Marlin, as somebody else, or as on a different team, this might get you that 1%.
Yeah.
And especially because you're that kind of person that can get that 1%, that can get that 2%, that little bit better every day. I'm really excited to see kind of what that looks like for you, because you've had such a great start to the season already. And it's been really fun to watch. Thank goodness I'm playing on defense, because I'm literally just standing out there. But he's striking everybody out. I'm just out there kicking grass and talking to the fans.
And climbing tarps.
And climbing tarps,
Yeah.
different stuff like that. So it's been really cool to kind of see that development, and even hear about the development that you're going through personally, and how it's really helped you in a certain sense of how different it's been over the years. So my leading question to that is, you've played for so many different teams. I think you were the first person I actually really knew that debuted in the big leagues. I want to say, was it 21 or 22?
21.
Okay, in 21, I was in low A, high A, and I remember watching your day start for the Angels, and I watched every single pitch. It was so exciting because you were like the first person I knew to make it to the big leagues to do that. So walk me through kind of what that day looked like, because again, you've got time with different teams.
Yeah.
You got traded over from the Yankees, right? Walk me through kind of what that looked like and where you were, how it went down.
Okay. Yeah, so it was funny. I was in Double-A at the time in Huntsville, Alabama.
Yes.
Yes. And I ended up, my previous start in the minors, I almost threw a no-hitter. I went into the 9th with a perfect game, actually.
You're bad.
Ended up blowing it, whatever. But that's besides the facts. So a few days later, I'm in my apartment, get a call from the manager. I'm thinking I'm going to AAA. He tells me I'm going to the big leagues. So my just adrenaline spikes. I'm anxious, nervous, thinking about every single scenario. Yep. I can barely sleep that night. I think, early flight, I probably slept 3 hours.
Naturally.
Yeah, so luckily they gave me a few days in Anaheim to kind of settle in and then throw. But yeah, just leading up to that, it was kind of just, it was kind of like a whirlwind. It was like, I didn't feel, it just felt numb, going about the motions and stuff every single day. Seeing a crowd, like a major league crowd, the lights and everything. You're playing with Mike Trout and Ohtani right there. And it's like, holy, like, this is crazy. Like I'm here, and but that group was, had a good mixture of old and young guys, so it was easy to, um, you know, migrate along in the clubhouse and stuff. And then so coming to my start day, um, whole family's in town and everything, and it was a day. Luckily, it was a day game because I just woke up and then went to the field. I didn't have time to really think about anything. Um, and of course, it was like the hottest day in LA of the year. And so I was like very nervous beforehand. And the crazy thing was, I ran out to the field. I'm doing my warm up pitches. And I'm looking around at everybody, and I'm like, this is the same game. Like nothing's changed. Like it looks so much different on TV. This is what I was thinking through my head. I'm like, everything's so much bigger and brighter and like on TV, and like when I was out there, it was just like, this is the same game. Nothing's changed. The distance between home plate and the mound is the same. You still got 9 guys or 8 guys behind you, and you're still throwing to your target. So that was kind of like settling for me. And thank God I threw strike 1, even though looking back at the video, thankfully the umpire gave it to me. But yeah, that kind of like settled me in right away. Just like realizing, and it's the same game. There's nothing really different about it. Like maybe the crowds are a little bit louder, but there it's easier to like blank it out of your head rather than like a minor league stadium where it might be like a few chirps here and there. You can hear it very clear. There it's just the fans are just like one. It embodies just like one big collective group, and it's kind of just like a blur in your head. So, that was kind of it. Like through the whole day, it was just very exhilarating, and thankful they were able to give me an opportunity. Yeah.
What was your favorite park to play in?
Park, I think Chicago.
White Sox?
No.
Oh, Cubs.
Cubs. I think that
It's
was
a great
like
place.
Yeah, that was one place. Just because of like the history of there, and
you got Wrigleyville right there.
Yeah, it was really cool to see that place popping, and that was last year I played there for the first time and was able to throw, and I really enjoyed. I love Chicago as a city and everything too. So, it was a great experience.
You talked about your family being at your major league debut.
Mm-hmm.
I read this story about you waiting for the draft. Like it's day 1, your name's not called. It's day 2, and then I think from what I read, you just called your dad and you talked to him for hours. It sounded like, at least how it read, and he kind of helped you through that day. You find out you get picked, I think, on the phone with him. How have your parents, your family, kind of helped you through this journey? Because I think any player we've had on here, it's never easy, right? Like you were a walk-on at Seattle. You clearly helped to implement like this new Driveline program there, but every step of the way for anybody we've had, it's like you've had help, and it sounds like they've had a pretty big influence on you in your career.
Yeah, they've been my number one fans, some supporters, and through the ups and downs, they've always been there, and it's really cool to have a support group like that, especially my wife too. Like she's been there from the beginning, so my whole family group is just like, always been there. My dad comes out all the time to games. Like he'll fly out wherever I am and support me, and he just wants to watch me pitch. And my mom still thinks I'm like 16-year-old in high school. Like she's like so excited to ask me all the questions and stuff. It's fun. It's I love her, and she wants me to do good every single time. And then when I do struggle, she always has words of encouragement and helps pick me back up. So you need people like that in your circle, and it's been a thrill, and thankful they're been able to come along this path with me.
And you said something kind of interesting about your debut, that it's the same game. When you were drafted by the Yankees, I mean, it's the New York Yankees, and there's all this history, and you go down to Tampa, and it's still there, right? Like it's in the Bronx, obviously, but even at spring training, like it's still there. Was that a moment where you felt like, wow, I'm in professional baseball because, like, Derek Jeter's stuff is there, and they've got all the history of, I guess the Rays are playing there right now, but it's the Yankees. Like, was that a moment where you were like, man, I'm in professional baseball at that time?
For sure, that was like a big reason when I got drafted. Like you said, it was like, I think day 3 or something. I think they don't even have that nowadays. I was the 22nd rounder, and just waiting throughout that whole process. And then when the Yankees called, it's like, oh wow, this is the Yankees, the New York Yankees, and I thought it was a great opportunity. And so when I get to the facility down in Tampa, all the history and stuff, yeah, it does. When you throw that jersey on and shave your face and stuff, it feels legit. And I think that I'm so thankful that I got drafted by them because of those values, and I don't want to say rules, but like the expectations and the standards that they pushed at, right when you get drafted to the big leagues, really helped me as a ball player to like understand how to be a professional and go about my business. And that's really kept with me. Thank God I was drafted by them, because that really helped throughout the process of, minor league baseball, because it's very like individualized. So growing as a man in that aspect has really changed my whole, career, I think.
So I'm going to flip the switch for a second. You're from Seattle. Give me your top 3 restaurants in Seattle, because when I tell you that area has some of the best food I've ever had in my entire life, other than maybe, I don't know, Jupiter. Jupiter's got some good food.
Yeah.
Give me like your top 3 being in Seattle from there.
Top 3.
Because I do understand, we've had other people from Seattle on the podcast.
Yeah.
And they also have different different food tastes, different things like that. But give me like a little insight into what you're thinking.
Okay. Now I got to jog my memory. I think number 1 where I live, it's this Italian restaurant called Montelsino's. It's like a small family-owned Italian restaurant, probably only 8 tables, amazing Italian food. And then I'm trying to think in the city. I'm trying to think of a sushi restaurant. Do you know the one in Cap Hill?
You're asking the wrong guy. I'm a Southerner. You're a Northerner. You're an actual Seattle
I think it's
person.
like Memoji.
Oh, I've heard of that.
Yeah. Okay, I got it right.
Yeah. I've heard of that.
Yeah, really cool sushi spot. Great, great all-around menu. And 3.
I know I put him on the spot.
Yeah,
no,
that's a tough question.
You should have told me
hard-hitting.
beforehand to think of.
Yeah, that's on me. I'm sorry.
I think I can only give you those 2 right now.
Okay. Because I'm a firm believer that up in Seattle we have the best water
Yeah.
you can have on planet Earth.
Yeah. I agree.
Maybe
Really?
maybe Alaska.
What
Alaska
makes
might
it so
be better.
good?
Yeah.
Just
Dude,
clean?
It's clean. It's like literally like from the glaciers, from the mountains, like
Wow.
into our pipes.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have a little tester at home. You know that what I'm. So
Yeah.
we're talking about the zero water filter from Culligan. It's awesome, fantastic. But it has a little tester on it to test your water quality. Florida has some of the worst water quality out of the tap you possibly can have. Washington has some of the best. So like it's on a scale from like it's 0 to 500, and 500 is like do not drink it, don't touch it, don't bathe in it, don't do anything like that. Florida's like at like 350. And
That's exciting.
Yeah, it's different. It's swamp water, but Washington is at like 120, 100, and so like you can literally almost like you can like boil the water for a little bit and it's going to be at 0. I guess you do that with any water, don't you?
Yeah.
But it is the cleanest, crispest, like hose water just tastes phenomenal. It's the best tasting thing on planet Earth. But I also think that the Asian food up in Seattle is unmatched. I do understand that New York, granted New York has the best food all around. It's well known. Get it. But the Asian food in Seattle is phenomenal.
Yeah, I think the seafood is top tier.
Yes.
It's hard
fresh.
It's hard to eat anywhere else. What would you say your 3 restaurants are?
My top 3?
Yeah.
Dude, I love Din Tai Fung. I love
that's
it.
a good one.
If I'm thinking in Seattle, there's a little place in Kirkland that's an Italian restaurant, and it overlooks the is that Lake Union? Is that Kirkland?
Como?
Como.
I love Como.
Yes. I can't believe you thought of that. Yes,
Yeah.
and it's the family's from Lake Como in Italy.
Yeah.
And that's why they named it that.
That's
and
cool.
it, again, has
That's
like
a good one.
10 tables.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. So I got Din Tai Fung, Como, and honestly, the family Mexican restaurants there are phenomenal.
Yeah, they are.
I mean, you walk into anyone that says family Mexican restaurant, you're going to get this giant plate. You're going to have the best chips and salsa. And the thing is, the salsa's got to be spicy. You can't have not spicy salsa.
Mm-hmm.
And you're probably going to pay maybe $15 max for the whole meal. And it's unbelievable. And you go home and you got leftovers. And so those are my top 3.
Yeah.
Just because I'm snobby.
That's
I'm
good.
snobby with my food.
Yeah.
You should
Me
be.
too.
You want to eat good food. Yeah.
I still need to taste Scott. This is a little tidbit. Scott bakes his own pizza.
Oh,
From
really?
scratch, the dough
scratch.
and everything. Yeah.
You
And
should
he
bring it in
actually
one day.
imports the water from New York.
I wish I could do that. See, I think a lot of people from the Northeast are saying, how could Seattle have better water than New York? Because that's the secret to a lot of people
Yeah,
for the
that's what
bagels
I've
and the
heard.
pizza. Yeah.
Yeah, but the water like flows down the streets through the garbage, through the like smells, through the
Yeah.
footsteps, and then it gets in there.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it
It's great
good.
flavor.
Yeah,
It's
what
the
picks it up.
flavor.
Yeah.
great
You
flavor
know, it's
water.
the
Yeah.
it's the smelly garbage flavor.
I tell people like the best hot dogs are in New York City, like at one of those like random old hot dog stands, and they just sit in stale cart water for hours, and they're so good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
There's
you
just something
always.
special about that.
Do you think it's the environment though? You're like walking down here, you're like, hey, get me a hot dog. That wasn't a very good accent, but. But do you think
I
it's
don't
like
know
the
what it
environment
is.
too?
Here's what I would say. There's a lot of great cities. I've never been to Seattle, and that probably is the place I want to go to more than anywhere else.
Go in the
It's-
summer.
You mentioned Chicago. Chicago is awesome. I think New York is really special, but I've heard amazing things about Seattle. And the Marlins are just playing out there, so I saw some like of the players
Yeah.
on their Instagram stories. Like they went to the market where they throw the
Yeah.
fish or whatever. Like that seems so cool. I think Seattle is awesome. Like
Yeah.
my impression of it. So I do want to go there.
I think the stadium is probably one of my tops
The Mariners,
too.
yeah.
I didn't want to say
Phenomenal.
that just
Yeah, it's
because I didn't
phenomenal.
want to be like a homer and say
It looks awesome on TV.
Yeah,
It is. It's
yeah.
great.
But it,
The food is
overall,
good.
the food's good. It's very unique in its own way. You can see the football stadium looming behind there. It's just really cool how they do
And
it.
the alley. I always go get kettle corn in that
right,
alley.
Yeah.
Kettle
yeah.
corn and like a hot dog or something.
That's
But
where
it's
I
probably
get-
not.
yeah.
It's not a New York hot dog.
Yeah.
They do some.
But
weird
don't they have a
dog.
Seattle
Seattle
hot dog?
dog.
Is a thing,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Do you know what it is?
No.
It's so you go bun, cream cheese,
Mhm.
Wow.
hot dog. You can go whatever, a broad or whatever you're
Okay.
thinking. And then caramelized onions on top. And then some people do like sriracha or like barbecue sauce on top. But that's the onions and the cream cheese is the main component of a Seattle dog.
Really?
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
weirdos.
it's amazing. I tell people, last year in Nashville, we had this guy that loved hot dogs. So they bought him. Sorry, Chad.
Chad Patrick?
Yes.
Who's dominating in the major leagues
Yes,
right
yes,
now. There
yeah.
you go.
Sorry, he loves hot dogs, and one of our another pitcher bought him a hot dog roller for the clubhouse, and I was like, dude, if you like hot dogs so much, you gotta try this Seattle dog. And he's just like super basic, like, no, I just want like mustard and that's it. And I was like, dude, you have to try it. I don't know if I ever got him to try it, but I made some for other people. I was like, dude, how have you never heard of this? And I would make them up some Seattle dogs. I was grilling, I was caramelizing onions in the clubhouse and everything. Like the people are walking by, like, what are you doing, making onions? And I'm like, just watch. I'm working over here.
I'm working.
Yeah, chefs at work. So you
It's-
gotta try one. They're amazing.
It's on my list.
Yeah.
It's funny you brought up the Marlins going to Pike Place because my wife and I had a question. Who paid for the fish? Because you
Isn't
got
it
to buy the fish,
crazy
and then they
expensive,
throw
right?
it to you.
Is
I
that
would
how it
think
works?
so. Yeah, I thought so. They don't just like go over and be like, "Hey, you want to catch this fish?" and then put
I
it
think
back.
they do.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you
Because
would
they
know more
just-
than I would.
Why?
Because you actually live like up in Seattle. I told you.
I think they
I'm a
just throw.
southerner.
I think they just throw them for like entertainment purposes too.
Oh, I thought you had to buy it.
No, they probably just. I mean, it's a whole fish, and then they probably just fillet it and put it out.
That's a good point. I'm thinking like they probably brought it back to the clubhouse, like full
Yeah.
salmon. They're just like, "Hey guys, we got this."
Yeah, that would be fun.
Were you a big Mariners fan? presumably?
No, not really. I mean, when I was like younger, they were not the best. I was a huge Felix fan, Felix Hernandez.
Ooh.
I loved watching him throw. And then I'm trying to think of other guys that I enjoyed watching on that team. But yeah, they were not the best, so it was hard to, keep up with them. I'm more of a Seahawks fan. I'm a big
12th
Seahawks
man,
fan.
right? That's
Yes.
big time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So,
And they're good-ish.
They're
Can
good
be.
most
They're in there.
years.
They're in
Yeah.
there. Yeah. I think new staff and everything. I think that they're on the come up.
When they won the Super Bowl,
Yeah.
what did that mean for you? Because they had been bad for a long time before you
Yeah.
were born, and then Pete Carroll comes there and he makes them relevant.
Uh-huh.
And I think Pete Carroll's like a fascinating coach. Like I've
Yeah.
read a bunch of articles about him and his energy and what he brings to the table. But for them to finally get over the hump, like what did that mean for you?
It was so cool. Me and my dad have had season tickets since I was, 5 years old or something. So, through that whole process, yeah, they in '05 they went to the Super Bowl, lost to the Steelers. I think it was because of the refs.
I agree.
Screwed us.
I remember that. I remember
And
that
then-
game. I
but-
agree.
Yeah, but after that, they were trying to hold on, and then there was years of not so good football, and then those early 2012, I think that's when.
When Russell came in.
Yeah, well, I think so. But that's when they started to pick it up a little bit, and just seeing them. I went to every single playoff game. Went to the NFC Championship. Didn't go to the Super Bowl, unfortunately. But yeah, I remember we got we won, and then at school the next day or something, everybody was like skipped school and went downtown to join the parade. And it was really cool to see the whole city come together for sports, and we haven't had that in a long time. So with the Mariners and then Sonics leaving and stuff like that. So it was nice to have a local sports team excel in that way.
I know I've talked about it on the show before. Have you been to a Kraken game yet?
Yeah, I've been.
I think we
They're
talked
fun.
about this.
Yeah,
I thought it was phenomenal.
yeah.
You love the Kraken.
I
He's
love
the
it.
biggest Kraken fan in America. Right?
I don't know anything about hockey. I couldn't
Yeah.
tell you a single player on their team, but my goodness, do I love the Kraken.
You
Yeah.
like watching. We went to a Predators game
We did
together.
go to the Predators game.
Yeah.
I had a lot of dude, I'm big on hockey right
I
now.
love going
hockey
to
and
hockey.
golf.
Yeah, I love going to hockey games.
I think they're just fun. They're entertaining.
Yeah.
It's quick paced. It's
Yeah,
I don't know. I also like the theatrics. I always thought the theatrics of the Predators were good. I thought
Mhm.
the Kraken were phenomenal. Like just the way that it was like kind of set up. But that new stadium, this is kind of my leading point. The new stadium I think might be able to bring back the Sonics.
yeah,
The Climate Pledge.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal.
I
It's
think
set up. It's brand new. It's right in downtown. It's right next to everything else.
yeah.
It's right next to the Space Needle. I mean,
I'm pretty sure that's why they renovated it,
yes, so they could bring back the
so they
Sonics.
could do
An
that.
NBA team.
But
Yeah.
would they rename them?
I think they'd go
Ooh.
back to the Sonics.
You
from what
have
I've
to.
read.
I think
I know
you have to.
I know you say you have to, but do you have to? Could you not
Technically,
be?
no.
Could you not be the Seattle Mountaineers?
Yeah, that would.
Could
I think
you-
a lot of people would hate that.
I think they would too. I think
Yeah.
they would revolt. I think you'd have to
You
have
gotta
the
be the
Sonics.
Sonics.
Yeah.
You have to be. People love the Sonics.
Yeah.
Remember having the Sonics mascot at a birthday
Yeah.
party? They'd always
What was he?
rent him out.
He was like a Yeti or something.
Yeah.
Like a
Yep.
yeah.
Or like no, it was Bigfoot.
Bigfoot.
It was Bigfoot.
Yes.
Everybody's got their Bigfoot. I still think it's in Washington. I think it's up in Forks,
I
like
think
up
so,
there,
too.
up there in like the Olympic
Yeah.
Mountains.
Yeah.
All right, I got one more question for you,
Oh,
Janson.
thank you, sir.
I think I have hit 2 of like the 4 amazing NFL experiences. Like Buffalo
Mm-hmm.
is freaking awesome. I've been to a game in Kansas City. It was awesome. The two I'm missing, I think, would be Green Bay, but also Seattle.
Yeah.
Like, is it all it's cracked up to be? You think like the 12th man and all that stuff?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's loud when you go there. It's just like exhilarating. Just like how much support the fans give those guys, and how dieharded they are. It makes the experience that much better when you got a whole stadium rooting for the team, and making it. I think it's like us and the Cardinals right now with the most false starts. Like, they pride themselves on getting false starts using their voice. So it's a different experience for sure. But the ones you talked about, I would love to go there. I'd love to see Buffalo, Green Bay. Those are probably the two I would really want to go.
Yeah, Buffalo's. I mean, it's wild. If you like tailgating,
Yeah.
there's nowhere better to go.
Yes.
Don't bring a table. They'll bring it.
Yeah.
Please
Jump
bring
on
a
it.
table.
Yeah.
Please. When they played in Jacksonville, they sold out of like folding tables, and they stopped selling them because they knew people were just going to destroy them in the parking
Yeah.
lot. But I think they went to like another county or something in nearby Florida, and found more tables to destroy. It's wild. It's wild.
funny.
Nothing like a game there.
I think Buffalo has us beat in that aspect of craziness. But inside the stadium, I think the 12s are unmatched.
Cool.
And it's really fun experience to be a part of.
It's been fun talking to you. Thank you for making
Thank you.
time for us. Really cool watching you out there because, again, we've seen you several years in Nashville. This guy's good, and it's really neat to see you take the next step this year. So I hope you're not here for too much longer. But tomorrow, I think it begins. We're recording this on Friday, by the way. This comes out on Tuesday. But we get to watch you at least one more time. So I've been very much enjoying it, and it's really cool. You guys get to kind of bring things back in a professional setting.
Yeah, it's been fun so far. Thank you for having me on.
This has been turn 2. Troy, you want to take us home? You want me to do it? What do you think?
Sure, I'll take it. Thank you, everybody, for listening. That was Janson Junk. Not only does he have junk on the field, his name is Junk.
You were waiting to get it in the whole
I
time.
was waiting for that one. Listen to us wherever you get podcasts, Spotify, Apple, YouTube. Please like and subscribe. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, wherever you guys. I think we're on a couple clips here on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. Like, subscribe, and please be on the lookout for our, we'll call it a mailbox, questions, fan interaction. I know a lot of you guys have been listening. You guys have a lot of different questions. You ask us here and there. We're going to put it all, compile it together, and we're going to have a new episode with it. But overall, Junk, thank you so much for being with us. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, guys.